today. A lot of people rocked by the news that Tony Gwynn has passed away. Those in baseball knew that he was battling cancer and had undergone multiple procedures and operations over the last couple of years as the cancer grew. And still, it's stunning to lose a guy of that era, that young, as accomplished as he was. And I think, Tommy, the other component, and people have touched on it throughout the day, what makes it even tougher to take is the type of person that he was.
Yeah, absolutely. We know the numbers and the type of career, the Hall of Fame career that Tony Gwynn had. But those who didn't get a chance to be around him or hear too much about him just never knew the type of person and how hard he worked at this game.
AT&T Uverse Rewinds. A little Tony Gwynn for you. A Padre his entire career. And he wore every uniform combination the Padres had, and he said in his Cooperstown speech he wore it proudly.
Yes, he did. I heard an interview today with Jack McKeon, who was the general manager in San Diego, who managed Tony Gwynn. And Jack said in his long career, there were only 2 players that worked as hard and got the most out of what they were gifted. Tony Gwynn and Juan Pierre was the other.
Juan Pierre was here tonight.
Yes, he was.
Anthony Rizzo up, and Rizzo takes high.
And I'll tell you how Tony Gwynn was as a person. This was a story I thought of today. Marlins were at Pro Player Stadium, and Tony was there broadcasting with the Padres. And my oldest son, Jason, was with me, and we were running our baseball academy, and he said, boy, I'd really like to talk to Tony about hitting a little bit. So we went by the TV booth, the radio booth. I forget what Tony was working that day. And he was in there by himself, and I told my son, I said, don't bother him too long, you know, maybe just a little bit. Well, 45 minutes later, he came back. They had been talking hitting.
And that's of the people that have personal stories about Gwynn. They all seem to center on that, talking about hitting. As a young broadcaster with the Seattle Mariners, I was in San Diego for an interleague game and was sitting in the Padres dugout, and Gwynn was out early for whatever reason.
Always was.
And he came out and sat down next to me, and I introduced myself, and we started to chat, and we started to talk hitting. And then he found out that I also called college basketball, and I knew that he was a dynamite point guard at San Diego State.
Outstanding.
So then we talked college basketball. Had no idea who I was. There was also, I think, a bat boy sitting there with us. But he spent almost 45 minutes with us talking hitting, talking college basketball. And he was like that with everybody.
Well, it'll be certainly a tough loss to baseball, to the Gwynn family, to his son, who we saw recently with Philadelphia.
Here's Castro. Well, that's the person, Gwynn. There's on MLB.com, if you want to head there, there's a great list of what Gwynn did against some of the aces of his day. Like Hershiser, he had 321 against him. Greg Maddux, 429 against Maddux. Against Smoltz, he hit 462.
Wow.
He was 302 in 63 career at-bats against Nolan Ryan. 321 against Fernando Valenzuela.
I was looking at some of his splits. He was so consistent. Of course, he had a 338 lifetime average. He hit over 300 every month. That's how consistent he was.
He was an incredible player, a Hall of Famer, and he will be missed. Tony Gwynn.